Hello, welcome to Quantum Discovery Network. I'm here to share my video with you. At this time, I currently wish to show you the video and offer some of my observations. This particular video, if you saw part one, has to do with a NASA private consultant, a civilian who collected many pictures and wrote a book, and he wanted to share these pictures. He was a test pilot for the command modules and before the astronauts used them. So what we have here is a circle that he created with around this crater. And we have an awful lot of structure right in here. You can see, and there's a lot of, this is like a light bulb. It looks like a light bulb. It's very strange. And then this is all construction. Look at that. That just does not, look at that right there. That looks like a landing pad for a vehicle. Maybe even the shadow of the vehicle on there. This one, I just noticed this, what appears to look like a home that's made, could be a creature type home. It's really strange looking. It seems to have eye, nose, mouth, which is obviously there. And then there's the light bulb. And he explains that he created a little bit of texture color. I just took and recreated the texture by using the darkening, lightening, all the available things I can use to clarify the picture a little bit. Now this is very blurry looking, but you can still see structure in here and there. Let's see what else we could find. This almost looks electrical. Okay, this was the module. Now they think that this over here could have been a alien base, which I find interesting. There's also something right there. I don't know what that is. Now, I like to put the person's video, whose reference pictures I get as a feature, so that they get full credit for the pictures that I use. And I do that with all of my videos. Okay, so we see that there's a lot of structure here. There's even like, looks like windows. There looks like, it almost looks like it's transparent. Now, I've got another video in my Apollo playlist that shows an actual structure that comes down like a big bubble, and it's very beautiful looking, but it seems to be illuminated, and you can see it as the module is landing, the ship is landing onto the surface of the moon. Now these things here look a little strange too. They certainly don't look like rocks. And this here looks like some kind of a landing pad or something going on. Okay, so it's possible that this could be an alien base, according to Dr. Ken Johnson. He worked for NASA for over 30 years and collected all these pictures. Now this is a very strange little thing. It's got eye, nose, mouth. You know, they say you're not supposed to look for that kind of thing, but I think they say that because that kind of thing is everywhere you do look, and we're trained to look with our brains for that kind of thing. So as an artist, I really focus in on those kind of things hard. Okay, so we have a lot more clarity right there. That's a strange looking little thing. Okay, now this is an astronaut on the moon, and you can tell the true astronaut pictures because you can actually see their little antenna at the top right there. And if you don't see that little antenna on top of their life pack, it's probably because it's been brushed out. It's too hard to brush over that. So looking at what you think are authentic pictures of Apollo landing on the moon, the Apollo missions, you'll have to verify that with that little antenna if you really want to look closely. Okay, so this is just another picture of the surface. Now this is, they wiped out all the stars, it seems like, but there's this cluster up in the sky, and Dr. Johnson thinks that it could be an alien base. I don't know if it could be an alien base or not, but it's pretty curious looking. You might want to zoom in on that. You could stop the videos at any time and zoom in and take a look. You know, here's a lot of structure. Look at all this structure right here. Look at all these. They're hexagons. Those aren't just, and these little things here, those look like little cars, all parked. Possible, this looks like a possible housing area here. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here are all a bunch of possibilities of cars that are parked. There's a couple more right there. I mean, they're just everywhere. Most likely a neighborhood of some sort. Many neighborhoods put together because of, now look at this structure right there. Look at that little hook right there. And that hook there. Those hooks are there for a reason. Those are not rocks. Anyhow, oh, that's pretty right there. This whole structure here, they call it a crater. It's only so deep. They're only so deep. All of them. So it makes you wonder if impact of various, you know, episodes would create different size impacts, but apparently this was like, it's just unreal that there's the same size impacts all over the moon and not some things that are much obviously different. Here's, oh, look at all that. Look at right there. You got all that structure right there. Now, when you look at this stuff, you cannot expect that this is going to be look like our stuff. We're just, it's not. These are not us. These are not human. These are not our construction. Could it be ancient human construction? I don't know. That's what I on my Mars, when I look at Mars, sometimes I think of ancient human construction, and a lot of copycat construction throughout the whole galaxy. On Mercury, Venus, there's a lot of these types of hooks, pulleys, things that you would think that would connect things together, neighborhoods. There's home. That's our sunrise, or Earthrise. So sometimes I like to outline things like structures in orange, things that I think are electrical in green. I got a little different colors in this because I'm talking, so, but I like to tell you that I like to outline these things pretty closely so I can get a good look actually at what is around it. Because once you start outlining things, other things start to really pop out, so you can really take a good look at them. And that's part of the reason I do it, because I really want to take a look, and everything's not all blended together. I've changed my focus so that I can pull out as much depth and 3D, you know, type looking depth perceptions of the area. This is kind of a strange thing. It almost looks like a large landing pad. And then this looks to me like, you know, just a ring that would reflect light to indicate this area here. That could be a home. A couple parking spots there. I wish I could get really close to these little, what look like cars, because it would be really interesting to see their structure. I will someday. You watch. I will get it. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay. So I kind of circled these craters because they're all the same depth. They're all, I mean, you would think of crater impacts as being very obviously different, but none of these seem to be different. Which would indicate the same size crater, the same size asteroids or whatnot that would be impacting the area, and that's highly unlikely that they're all the same size and they all impact the same way. And I can only imagine how the moon must have rang. Okay, so here's what I would consider like a neighborhood grid. There's these look like lots of housing areas, or just a neighborhood. There's a little bit on a grid there. And you could see, you know, parking areas. You could see, I'm not sure how high up this is, but it's pretty interesting. And look at that. That's kind of a strange little, Sometimes you really get these eye, nose, mouth things, and you're just not sure if it's a building or some type of a destruction, or I've even found trains that have the strangest looking faces on Mars, and I am all about the trains on Mars. Okay, so here we have the neighborhood up a little closer, and of course it's not going to look anything like ours. See there, that almost looks like a little train right there. And they would be much smaller than our trains on the moon and Mars. Simply because there's not that kind of space. Okay, so look at that. Look at all that structure there. Look at, those are not rocks. That's not a real crater there. That is, that, boom, 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 boom. That definitely looks like surrounds for a home. Here again, this looks like, you know, some kind of a frog. And a lot of the buildings, there's another one that kind of looks like a face of something. A lot of them look like faces, you know. Man on the moon stuff. I'm telling you, you look for the faces, you'll find them. And you'll be, look at that. You'd be surprised what you find. That's probably a building in the shape of a frog, which is quite entertaining. A lot of characters on Mars. It makes you wonder where you get the Sonic Hedgehog and those things, because there's a lot of those. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, how do the craters impact and get the same depth? Well, it's a good question. And nobody has been able to answer it. Boom, boom, boom. All the same. All the same. So look, oh, missed that one. Yeah, I hope you guys can go back and see some of this stuff, because, you know, you can only pull it out so much. You don't want to get, ooh, that's a nice picture there. Look at that crater. Look at that structure there. Nice landing area. Now these caves, you could, I don't know. There could be caves. It could be flown into. It's a possibility. Look at this. That's kind of a strange looking thing. And there's a kind of a, I like to call those like hooks, latches. You know, they're almost like the things they have for the front of the trains on Mars. Look at that right there. Boy, if that isn't a vehicle or some sort of transport, huh? Okay. Okay, so let's see, we got this one. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, check out some of my other videos, and I've got playlists. I'm going to go through some of my Apollo stuff and redo it and make sure that it's a real thing, because I'm really excited about this and I enjoy talking. So I hope to see you again real soon, and thanks for joining me. And please subscribe, like, comment. Do you enjoy having me talk? Would you rather hear the music? Please let me know, and I'd like you to join me in having a good day. Okay.